Hi everybody, welcome to New Streaming Network, WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, podcasts, and home of Going Solo and Going Bold. My show is called Dare to Dream. I am Graham Williamson, an international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic. And it's a beautiful day. Weather here is fantastic. And the show today, it's not that one. It's what is spiritual expansion? That's the show today. And the reason why it's Spiritual Expansion Day today, I just did an event in Port St. Lucie. And all my years, 67 years of working with spirit, I'm 70 now, I have never felt such a energetic, positive feed through me like this in my life. And I resolved it to the thought that as I was approaching to do the event on my journey, it takes 3 hours and about 15 minutes from where I live to go to Port St. Lucie. I was asking Spirit to guide me, to help me do what I need to do. And I said, but I want to do something more. Thank you, Susie. I want to do something more this time, Spirit. I feel that I need to do more. Not want, need. You see, each of us have our pasts. And we all have to resolve our pasts honestly. And it can hurt. And the 3-hour trip I was doing, my wife was at home looking after my dog and herself and just relaxing. But as I was going, I was thinking about my mother, who was a rescue medium, my grandmother, who was a medium, my sisters and my brothers. And I literally felt the connection I have. But the one person that I'm more connected with than anybody else in my entire life is my wife, Sandy. I can feel her moods, even when I'm not with her. And it's not make-believe. How many of you, as I've said in many of my shows, how many of you walked into a room and you felt comfortable or felt, oh, this doesn't feel right? The psychic side. And be honest. Do you feel comfortable or don't you? You can analyze it by thinking, but that's not the way to go. It's literally listening to that feeling. Because when I say feeling, and like when I say seeing, when I'm doing readings, it means nose, eyes, ears, mouth, and sensitivity, and your subconscious, superconscious. All of them working together. So when I'm saying seeing, it's all my senses. When I'm working with spirit, I get such a kick. Now, this event I went to, I have never, ever done as many people in a 2-day event in my life. It shattered everything. It was 3 times the amount I've ever done. And I came away hyper. My energy was so strong. And I was thinking about what was different with this show that I went to. And I realized it's because I said, I know you know me, Spirit. I know that you want me to do this to prove continuity of life after death. And the only way I can help people, I don't want to read futures. I can, but I choose not to, because I don't want that responsibility. Because 95% of the people who come for a reading say, can you read my future? Well, I'm having a rough time and I need to know what's happening in the future. And I instantly go, no. I said, why not? I said, my job is to uplift you in a positive way. I can't guarantee your future. Neither can you. But the point I want to make is, by going into your past and understanding what happens, how it happened, and what you do with it that moment in front of me. As I say, this event was special to me because I was actually telling people, please stop talking. No, that's incorrect. That is false. I wasn't giving people a chance to explain their thoughts to me. He said, but I said, no, you want to have a reading, I have to give you the information. You don't give it to me. I have to earn your trust. I have to earn Spirit's trust. I have to trust myself. And as soon as I got them to stop, I was firing what I felt on levels, as I say, I've never experienced before. And on the journey home after the Saturday and Sunday, I realized, wow, my energy was so strong. Why? Because I trust Spirit beyond doubt. Because I'd set my intention beforehand. 15 minutes before I got to the building to where the event was, I always say my own routine of, say, Spirit, watch over me, highest and best, etc. I'm not going into detail for that because each person has their own method, own wording. If they do it at all, or they wait until they sat down and say, right, I'm here, whatever. But by continuing what I've always done is ask for those guidance and set my parameters, open up my heart, open up my spirit. I had this feeling that, whoa, you've opened more than you normally do. It was like being excited, being blessed. I can't put all the emotions to it, but the positivity was beyond words. And yet I was relaxed. I didn't feel, oh, this is difficult. No, it was peace within me. And then I realized it's my spiritual energy has expanded out, my spiritual expansion. Because Graham, as I'm talking now in part, Graham, the person you know and see in front of you, was aware that something was different in my subconscious. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a doctor. In fact, it's quite funny because a lot of people say, aren't you that medical intuitive? I said, yeah, but I can't say I'm a medical intuitive on my signage. I'm not qualified, not certified. I have never been trained officially. So I don't diagnose or treat. But one of the funniest things I felt, a lady sat down and I normally ask, well, I always ask this part, may I hold your right hand? We're face to face, no table between us or anything, just face to face. May I hold your right hand with my left hand? Because I talk with my right, I'm an English speaker. But as I was talking to her, saying thank you, I closed my eyes, I take my glasses off because I don't like focus. And as soon as I relaxed, I felt this stabbing knock, painish, underneath my right knee, left side of the joint, on the inside. And it felt like a tapping. What? I said, do you play a musical instrument? I'm getting like a cello. Her face dropped. What? Have you been talking to me? I said, I haven't spoken to anybody. I've just come in and you're sitting here. I haven't spoken to anybody that wouldn't know you. Evidently, this lady played the cello. And I told her, you have a metal tip on your cello. You don't have any protection to get rid of the static charge buildup whilst playing this instrument. So every time you're moving it, it's rubbing and building up the static. And that's what you're feeling on your joint. I just went, how did you know? So I don't personally. I said, but because she's telling me after the reading what I told her. Because I don't know consciously what I've said. I only know that she was happy. I said, was that all right? She said, how did you know about this? You see, working with spirit, it really is a work of art and trust. You can only expand your energy, your spiritual energy, the auric field, whatever you want to call it, is by trusting and loving and giving and doing the highest and best for others as well as yourself. Because if you don't do it for yourself as well, you could drain your own energy. And a lot of the people I know in the field, they say, don't you feel tired afterwards? I said, heck no, I'm hyper. It took me 2.5 days to even calm down enough to talk today. Because spiritual energy and spiritual expansion have to work together. A couple of years ago, started talking to a friend of mine who was on one of the shows on here, Blue Feather, and she was telling me about CC, and we clicked, and I said, I've got my shows. But I was opening up and opening up and opening up who I am spiritually. I don't plan my shows at all. And they say, oh, that's unprofessional. Some people, not the people in going solo. News streaming network, my apologies. They don't do that. They allow me to do what I feel comfortable with respect to the parameters of the show, of the network. Because I'm not telling you what you've got to do. I'm only telling you how I dealt with the situation. But by thinking, I know it would block that energy flow coming through my crown chakra all the way through my body and grounding at the bottom. I know the difference between Graham thinking and spirit working. It's second nature to me because I have done it so long. But because my wife and I are so much in tune with each other, we're two individuals. We're not like this as a married couple. You say, oh yeah, you like this together, aren't you? I said, no, we're like that. Two individuals merging together. Exactly the same with spirit. I trust spirit and me. Hey, Harley. And this is what union and hi, Catherine. This is what understanding the spiritual essence of who you are with those in heaven, with the spirit realm, whatever level you want to call it. It takes nerve to go up to somebody you've never met before. Like I'm a guy, I'm 70, sitting down, I've got ladies coming up from all ages, and I'm holding the hand and talking to them for 15 minutes. They come in, a bit scared, a bit nervous, and they go out laughing. Give me a hug at the end. I always ask permission at the end. May I give you a hug? Say no, it's fine. But 99% have said, yeah, give me a hug. Because it calms them down. It calms me down. And then I notice something different. I always have a mouthful of water between each reading. I go like this. When I'm Graham. But I found out this Saturday and Sunday, I wasn't getting it on target. I thought, why? And then I realized my hands were vibrating. I was doing a physical thing while still in tune with spirit. And it was causing that little flutter. And I was laughing. And my friends around me said, you're right, Graham. I said, yeah, 70 years, I'll miss my mouth. Each time I pick up a bottle of water to have a little drink. Because I want to use the water as a symbol to wash away the previous energy I had, cleanse myself to work with spirit. So the next energy that comes in is the new recipient. And that way, each one was adding experience to my connection with spirit. But they weren't merging and meshing, so I was all going mixed up. Each one's individual. And that individuality should always be maintained. But we are all positive and all negative. You choose to be in what field you prefer. And don't forget, There's evil and good, but there's positive and negative. Doesn't mean those two are good and bad. The bad side, everybody says, the negative isn't evil. It just means that moment is not right for you or the situation that you're in. Doesn't mean it's evil at all. You can have evil intent, but the situation is either good or bad. But because I'm recognizing this in people that come and sit with me, I was blown away by saying, excuse me, if you want to tell me everything, please don't sit down. So why not? I said, you want a reading from Spirit, from me as the medium, or do you want to talk to me? If you want to talk to me, can you wait till the end of the day? Because I'm here to do readings with Spirit for the recipients. I didn't realize this. You see, I found out I could say no in such a way they weren't affronted, embarrassed, or pushed away in any shape or form. I did a lecture there about what is an evidential medium. And the place was full. I was quite impressed. But I was drawn to a young girl of about 14 who was crying the whole time. When she came in, she sat there and was crying. But I knew it wasn't anything that anybody had done physically to her. I just felt this conflict. And she was sitting with her father. And I thought, hang on, Spirit, what do I do? And I went up to her and said, this is what the father told me. I told his daughter, you are not weird. You're not alone. Yes, you do see Spirit. You have felt them all your life, but nobody's ever been able to tell you what they are. You feel all right, but you know it's scary because you don't know why you're feeling it. And I said to her father, before he told me all that I'd said, I said, may I give your daughter just a hug? And he was right there. She stood up. She gave me a hug, and I whispered in her ear so her dad could hear, you're not alone. You are not alone. It's real. And I could feel this young girl just, oh, thank goodness for that. She just relaxed. And then there were tears of joy, not fear. And I came to a couple of times through the hour of the lecture, well, 45 minutes. And at the end of it, she was chipper as anything. She was, yeah, hey, Dad, yeah, I can do that. Oh, I can, oh, now I know. She understood what she was feeling. She expanded because she knew I wasn't being limiting or looking down at her. I just showed her the reality. You've got to be grounded to do mediumship. She didn't know any of it. Nobody's taught her anything. Even her dad didn't know. He just knew she was upset for something, but he couldn't. He had a feeling it was something that was going through her head and her heart, but he didn't understand. And at the end of the session of the 45-minute lecture, they both came for a reading separately. And she told her what I told her, and he told her what I told him. Because when you do readings, you've got to expand your heart. You've got to expand your inner feelings, your psychic energy. You've got to be very in tune with it. And you've got to say what you feel. It doesn't matter how weird it is. Like I say, that lady's just touched, our hands touched, and I started feeling this banging on my knee. Now, how can I come out with, do you play a musical instrument like a cello or something? And as it turned out at the end of that day, the lady who has singing bowls and a husband in the event, she came over, she says, one of my friends came over to me and asked if I'd been talking to you prior to her getting a reading, because they both play cello. I didn't know that. She said, we haven't told anybody about what we do musically, but this lady can play the cello, clarinet and stuff like that. I don't, wow. He says, you actually told her this. I said, well, how is that? How am I able to do that? because I did not think. I reacted to the image that spirit opened within me. I play a harmonica occasionally. I have a didgeridoo. I've been on stage. My friend played the guitar when I was in the forces. I've been in churches where we're singing away with TV cameras on. So music, I love music. I really do. But I don't do it a lot now. I listen to it. That's all I do. But by my experience, by those memories within me, spirit tapped into them, and I saw the cello. Well, first I saw a fiddle, then the violin, and then it tipped over and then it became a cello. Not a double bass, cello. And the way I described what this cello was like, and what it was made from, and what it had on the sides of it, I don't know. Expansion comes from trusting your inner voice, your guts, your heart, without thinking about it. You cannot think and let it take control of what your heart's feeling. If you feel something for somebody, have the guts to recognize it within yourself, and if it's appropriate, go up and say, I feel what you mean. Or in words to that effect, whatever the circumstances. Because you literally have to trust yourself. You cannot expand that energy. The auric energy, everybody sees pictures of it looking like a nice little motif around with all the different colours. But I know my wife, she taught me about true expansion. Her energy, I could feel in the UK while she lived here in Lake County, Florida. I could say, oh, you got a bit of a headache. Oh, how's your stomach today? How's the girls? I could describe what I was feeling. She said, oh yeah, that's because of such and such and such. Because my wife had no limitation on her energy. She didn't know how to protect herself, how to calm herself down. And even calming herself down does not reduce the expansion. It just makes the flow work better. If you get a hose pipe, it's got a, 3-inch diameter, and you can open and shut the nozzle, full force, half and all that. It's still 3 inches of pipe. The water's still there, but it flows through better. Well, we are going to go for a break for a couple of minutes, but before we go on that, if you want to call or want to email me, you can go to amedium77@gmail.com or the Britt, THEBRITT77@hotmail.com. You can ask questions and such like, no problem. But if you want to call me, it's America, Florida, 352-409-1060. Please leave a voice message, because if you don't, I will not respond to the call. But you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Dare to Dream show with the new streaming network of going home, going solo, and going bold. WGSN. Yeah. I am hyper. But go to this link and you can find my shows there and many other shows. But we're going to take a break in a second. I'll see you when we get back. Welcome back, everybody, to Dare to Dream. I'm your host, Graham Williamson, international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic. And today's show is what is spiritual expansion? Basically, it's learning to trust yourself. And the more honest you are, the better it will be for you. Because spirit are on the other side trying to use your memory. And the only way you can do that is by talking through you or going through you with their energy into yours. They don't drain my energy because Graham has taken a step back, as it were. And the energy spirit give me revitalizes me. And the more I've been doing it, the more my energy expands. But it takes time and trust. I keep on repeating those words. Trust especially. I have met so many mediums that honestly, I wonder where they're coming from. But I give them the space, I give them respect, whether they earn it or not, because I'm not judging them. It's not my job to judge anybody. Like today, I was crossing a crosswalk in a little village called Mount Dora. And this gentleman had parked his truck and the back wheels were on the crosswalk. He had a big galvanized pipe, longer than the vehicle, sticking out the back. And I ducked to get under it. So I thought, I'm not very tall, but someone's going to bang their head on that. So I tapped on his passenger window and I said, excuse me, sir, are you aware of the pipe sticking over the crosswalk? Well, this guy turned out to be very racist. Called me something about being a British guy, not supposed to live here. And I just started to smile and laugh. I said, you know something? So he said, what? I said, if it wasn't for where I come from and what happened all those hundreds of years ago, you wouldn't have America. And I was laughing and being respectful, taking a step back. So he got verbally aggressive. But unbeknown to me, there was a plainclothes cop who had been listening to this guy's tirade against me, all because I wanted to stop hurting others by banging their heads on his pipe. The officer gave him 2 citations, a ticket. And he said, do you want to charge him with racial discrimination? I said, no, it's not for me. I said, he may think again twice before he actually starts verbally assaulting people like that. And if he does it again, then yes, I will. And the cop says, why did you smile? I said, because I've seen things like this on the internet. People being racist and biased and antagonistic. Completely forgetting the reason why I was politely knocking on his window saying, are you aware that you've got a pipe hanging over the crosswalk? It had nothing to do with where I came from. We all come from the same thing, our mothers. And we all are spiritual human beings. Spirit having a human experience as human beings. We are all part of this energy that permeates everything of this world, of this universe. But there's different types of energy. And each of us as humans are part of the divine energy, as I call it. But we're still individuals, but we are all part of the collective of the divine energy that has been given us to live our life as a human on this physical world. I don't know if any of you know the term about spiritual self-enlightenment, enlightenment. But think about it. You came here as spirit into a human body, human form, to experience things as a lesson, so you understood your reason for being on this earth. And when you pass and go back to the spirit form, you take that knowledge, that experience, and it expands your spiritual energy, your spiritual expansion. I can't prove it. to you this minute. It's only when you go back to being spirit. But think about it, we're the human race. We're all individuals. But we can choose to either follow people or stand up and say, I don't agree with that. Or you can just say, no problem, I'll walk away. All I did say hasn't. I'm swallowing that because I know Spirit are wanting me to talk more and more and more. And I have to moderate it. I have to slow it down. Because I learned, especially today, again, is that I am just one person on this earth. But I'm reaching some of you, you listeners. And I hope what I've told you helps you expand your spiritual self. And that you trust your inner instincts and follow your guides, because everybody has a choice. Some choices are hard, some choices are easy. But remember that we are here on this earth for a limited time. I don't know how long I've got. I never thought I'd live past 30, 31. I was extremely pushing it for my lifestyle earlier. I've now doubled it plus. So every day to me is a blessing. And I am not afraid of death. I'm just afraid of how I'm going to die. But of death itself, I'm not afraid of that, because just think about it. I don't have to pay taxes. I can travel where I like. I can see everyone I've lost who've gone to spirit. I'll be able to go back with them. I'll be able to go and talk with the divine spirit itself, in whatever form I'm allowed to. Now, religious beliefs are not the main point of my show, but we all believe in good and or bad. We can either live in the good or live in the bad. You can be evil, but that's a choice. You can allow negativity into your heart. You can be evil in your heart. But remember, you are born with a light of the divine. And it's that energy that's connected directly to spirit that keeps and always will keep white, pure. It's what you consciously experience and hold on to, thinking on all your experiences. And that reduces your spiritual expansion, because you become material. Now, I'm not saying I've forgotten what being material is about, so my expansion is great. I still live on this real world. My feet are grounded. I know about good and bad and stuff, and I've got to be careful of the weather. We were talking about it just before the show. Thunderstorms are where Cece is. We just had a thunderstorm. I'm real, but the energy around me is also real, and my energy touches it, and I'm able to feel comfortable by practice, by being honest. You see, new streaming network. In a way, I can use that as an analogy for spirit. With the new streaming network, with WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, podcasts, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. My show, Dare to Dream, is also daring to be facing your inner self, the true you. And as a host of Dare to Dream, Graham Williamson, I'm an international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic. And the show today is about what is spiritual expansion. It's about facing every single moment in your life to the best of your ability. And you choose to go with what you feel or not. You say, oh, but you don't understand. I'm in an abusive behavior. I'm a recovered alcoholic, or this or that. I've been there. I chose for a long time to ignore all the signs I was getting. I became an alcoholic. But what saved my life was being a fit alcoholic, being in the forces, an endurance runner, a swimmer, Being like that saved my life. Talking to people, listening to people, feeling that energy around me got me out of the depression. People I've known and loved have said, "You're still an alcoholic, Graham." I'll always be an alcoholic, but I don't practice being an alcoholic anymore. I'm a recovered alcoholic. I'm not proud of it. But by my experience, spirit having a human experience, I'm able to say to people, I know exactly what you feel. Addicted to something. I never did drugs. But the drug I had was caffeine and alcohol. I used to drink gallons of tea a day because I was cooking the Royal Navy, for goodness sake. And you've got to get rid of all that, replace all that sweat, all that liquid in kitchens, galleys. You see, I learned to listen to my body. I survived. I've learned to watch and observe people and listen to what images and feelings and sensations go through my body, my mind. And without thinking of the conscious, logical thoughts, those memories that are tripped by whatever I'm seeing and experiencing, I react to without thought. And that's expanded my ability, my spiritual expansion. When you're listening to this show, I want you to actually take time and close your eyes and listen to what you feel. And as I said about listening, seeing, it's all the senses enrolled into one. How do you feel? I'm not a scholar. I am not qualified in anything that would matter here today. But I have experienced a lot of things being in ex-service. I've saved people's lives. I've seen dead people. I've done the ultimates. But my nature today is I survived for a reason. I don't know the full meaning of the reason why I'm still alive. But I want to make one thing clear. I'm here to do better for myself and all those people I am connecting with. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just Graham. I love joking around. My wife calls me the comedic medium. But I can't have a sign that says comedic medium in big letters above my head, on a sign. Because people say, oh, it doesn't take it seriously. But I laugh with myself, not at myself. I don't laugh at people. I laugh with people. Because spiritual expansion is an important part of why I'm here, and maybe for you as well. So I hope what I've given you will give you some insight as to what you may do, can do, if you wish to. But don't say, I want that. No. Do you need that? The whole point of my show of Dare to Dream is facing your reality. What is spiritual expansion? It's allowing yourself to be totally free and honest with yourself. I'm about to close the show soon, but I want to thank you for watching. And if you need to get hold of me, as I say, you can do it on Facebook. You can email me, as I say, medium77@gmail.com. or the Britt with 2 T's, 77@hotmail.com. Or you can call me on America, Florida, 352-409-1060 to leave a voice message. I can help you. I can do classes, whatever, groups, sessions. I am open to a lot of ways. Zoom, Messenger, Facebook, contact me. And I hope I can connect with you. Your expansion is your choice. And I wish you well in actually learning that. Now, my next show, good old Cece, she's brilliant. My next show is 2 weeks from today, September the 11th, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's for approximately 45 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I thoroughly enjoy talking to you, whoever you are. And I know I've got some people here. Don't forget, if you need to get hold of me, there's my email addresses, medium77@gmail.com and thebritt77@hotmail.com. My telephone number is USA, Florida, 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message. But look for me on Facebook. You see my picture there? Well, you can see my face now. And if you want to talk to me, no problem. But my shows are on live WGSN-DB, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn for more shows. We're on Roku and Amazon TV. We're expanding. There's loads of avenues that you can go to. Well, I hope you've really enjoyed it, and I will see you in 2 weeks, and have a good day.